If you want to learn how to play Omen on Pearl, this is the guide for you. In this guide, I'll first go over offense and then defense. So for offense, first we have the A site execute. If your whole team is coming out A main and you're the solo smoker, your job is to smoke off art and dugout. Some people have a debate over whether to smoke flowers or dugout, but I've learned that it's easier to smoke off dugout rather than flowers because when you're scaling into the site, your team only has to look at the left side of the map to hold the art smoke and for the flower swing, rather than looking back and forth between holding a smoke and being aware of dugout threats. To help your team with the execute, you can throw a paranoia across the right side of the site and even TP into default. Now, if you're not the solo smoker, and let's say you have an Astra or a Viper who smokes art, flowers, dugout, whatever, you fill in with the third smoke on whatever choke is now smoked, and you can throw your second smoke on top of site and TP into that to help with the entry. Now, if you're splitting A, it's best for you to go A main and flash art and A link for your team as they go to take art. Then smoke off the A side of connector as they scale through A link.
I think one close.
This time, you're gonna want to smoke off flowers because now you don't have to worry about the highly likely swing out of art, so you can focus all of your team's attention on dugout. Now for the B site execute, if you're solo smokes, it's kind of unfortunate and you run into a similar issue of Astra on solo smokes where you have to choose between smoking Heaven and CT or Heaven and Link. It depends on what y'all are going for, but I personally prefer to smoke off Heaven and Link as people don't really fight you from CT that often. Now as you're about to scale onto the site, you can throw this flash to cover site, Heaven, and CT peaks. You can also TP into your Heaven smoke for a mix-up. Now if you're not the solo smoker, it actually makes it a lot easier because typically you could just smoke off whatever isn't smoked. So if you have a Viper, that would be smoking off B-Link, and if you don't have a Viper, it's probably smoking CT or Heaven. Just coordinate that with whoever your other controller is. This also allows you to play more into the flex role, which means you'll be able to TP Heaven much more freely. If you have your ult on execute, you can TP CT side behind Heaven on B, or dugout or flowers on A. Now when my students are trying to learn maps, they also tend to ask me about what to do on ecos. And on Pearl, going mid is pretty much the go-to for eco plays, and it's actually really easy with Omen. You can pop a smoke mid doors or front art, play with a shotgun, or you can smoke off B-Link and go through connector, try to get a pick on a rotating defender, or you can even go down water and go into their spawn. It really just depends. Remember to stay weird with your eco plays. Omen defense, you basically want to structure around where your flashes are the strongest, and that's easiest to do on A site, much like how you would on Ascent from Dice. Now if you're not feeling the A site hold, you could also play A link or art. You have really strong flashes from there as well. But my favorite when I'm not playing A is actually to play mid-con or B-Link and be ready to flash off of double doors contact. You could also just save your flash for retake, to flash halls for the B retake, or to flash sight from flowers on the A retake. Basically, you want to stick to A site, you can flex mid, don't really play B, it's not that good. An important part of defense is getting aggressive, and there's actually a lot you can do on Omen. Basically just drop a deep smoke anywhere and push to it. What's really common is to push up B long when you're trying to make a desperate play, especially on eco rounds. But what's much easier to do is drop a smoke deep A main, hold it, grab the orb, figure out what's happening, and rotate quickly. If you want to learn more about advanced Omen gameplay, watch this one-way guide right here.